evening, everyone. Good evening. Happy Good Friday evening. And welcome here to our Facebook Live. And we're also over on YouTube as we have with some of the cast from day 3, along with the writer and director of this virtual production for 2021. None other than the minister of music at First Christian Community Church of Annapolis is Kevin Smith. Hey, Kevin!
What's up? What's up?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing really good. Really good.
Good. Well, it's exciting. Hey, before we get going here, we want to introduce the cast that you have with us. Some of the folks, not the entire cast. These are representatives from the cast of day 3. And we have none other than our sister Deanna McCall, and she is playing the part of Martha. Correct? How you doing, Sister Deanna?
I'm good. How are you doing tonight?
Good, thank you. I'm glad you could join us here tonight. We got a lot to talk about.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm telling you. All right. And then we have none other than this Janice DeCosta. And Janice, you are Emmy.
Yes, ma'am.
Also Mary Magdalene. Emmy, that's your nickname. So you Mary Magdalene.
Yes.
Right. Thank you for being here as well. And then of course we have another veteran from our Easter production, Eric Holland. And so I'm assuming, Eric, because your name is Laz, you must be Lazarus.
That'd be me. Good evening, everybody. Good to see y'all.
And I think, well, Deanna, and I know, Eric, this is not your first production either, right? With the Easter play at First Christian Easter production.
Is that question to me or to Eric? I got confused.
Deanna, I'm sorry, it's to you, Deanna.
This is actually my third production. Mm-hmm.
But this is your first, correct, Janice?
Yes, this is my first.
All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about here tonight.
Yeah.
And I just want to say to everyone who has joined us here, we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Just put it in the comment section and we will definitely get to it. So Kevin.
What's up?
I need to be asking you, brother, okay? You did the Christmas production in 2 weeks. That, yeah, you should be rubbing your eyes and everything else because, you have a girl over here sweating because I'm like, it's in 2 weeks. And you pulled it off and it was phenomenal. You had an awesome cast. So let's talk about day 3, the Easter experience for 2021. And there was a lot that went into it. The pandemic had a lot of play in it as to the direction that we went to. But I first want to ask you is the challenge for each year for the Easter production is how do we present the same message but present it in a creative way or a different way or fresh way. So how did you go about? What was your process in putting day 3 together? Like, even starting with the title, why did you name it day 3? What was your thoughts? What were your thoughts during that time?
I think the initial birth of day 3 as an entire concept was birthed out of a conversation that Pastor Ricky and we had together, and we were initially, I was working with him because Easter is his baby, so it was kind of trying to develop and solidify a concept that we would think that possibly would work, and then also just be modern and just different. That was really the initial goal, was just to be different. And the day 3 came out of the concept of basically digging into what was happening before they found the empty tomb. And I honestly think that if it wasn't for just those initial brainstorming conversations, we probably wouldn't have the entire concept of day three. The script writing all came out of, I'm going to say, both working hand in hand with the music selections, because we would think as any type of Easter experience, we can't have an Easter experience without music. And some of the music selections, we thank you for Richard Smallwood and Kirk Franklin and Donald Lawrence, all these people who have made great songs. And, down the road, maybe one day I will write an Easter song. But those songs definitely were a contribution to how the script was written.
Okay. All right.
Definitely.
So that I can be clear. So as you were writing the script, that's where the songs came in, or did you have the songs in mind and you were looking, I know I want to use this song. I want to decide where I want to put it and how I'm going to use it in the play. How did you do that?
It was a repertoire of songs. I mean, when especially if you're planning for Easter experience, you have a 1,000 songs that you want to do, and there's some that are like hits, but then it's like, okay, so if I stick with a concept and I begin to write a storyline, in that storyline, which out of these songs that I'm thinking of could fit?
Okay.
So it was definitely kind of working hand in hand, what made sense, what didn't make sense, and how do we wrap this all together with one message? One thing Ricky would say is, what is the message? Like, what is the message? We can do all this stuff, but what is the message? What are you trying to tell people through this production? So yeah, it has to all wrap in together. So definitely. Yeah.
Like I told you, when you sent the script to us, I just skimmed it. And when I say skim, I'm talking about skim, because I like being surprised along with the audience.
Right.
I like, let me see this with fresh eyes as well. So, so that everyone who's on here listening, Pastor K has not seen the script. I do not know. I know bits and pieces of it.
Right.
I really don't know the entire script. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing the layout, because just from the clips I've seen, I was like, oh man, this is going to be phenomenal. So
it was crazy.
Okay, so when I dropped in on one of your rehearsals, in fact, you were doing your recording for the choir. How did you put the choir together? Because I saw people of all ages, from different churches, different denominations. Tell me about that. What did you do to reach out to and get that awesome group of people to come on board?
The way that the choir was set up was definitely an initial vision with how the Easter experience would be. One of the things that I said early on was, if we are going to do an Easter movie, I would like to shoot the Easter movie outside of the walls of the church. However, for the Easter experience, I want to see some vocals inside the church, but I want to do it in a sense where it's not too formal, but it's done where it almost feels like it's a rehearsal, and we always, the old song says this is just a rehearsal, but it almost feels like we're experiencing something. The move of God is happening. We're not in front of a crowd, but we are literally putting together a production. And I wanted people to look into that. I wanted people to see how things are done like that. And we don't have to always dress things up. The choir, I put a call out on Facebook, and I know a lot of choir members that are out in the DMV area, and we didn't get a big response, but we got a very diverse response. It was a piece from here, a piece from there, all different type of churches. And then there was a few of them that are actually just, because some people don't always look on Facebook, and then we were kind of in crunch time. I was like, I need to know who I'm going to have as soon as possible. So I put the call out to some individuals, and everyone responded and basically wanted to be a part of it. Those that couldn't be a part of it, of course, because of some of the restrictions, and they really wanted to be there and they were there in spirit, But it was a lot of support. It was overwhelming to see all these different people come together for a rehearsal and go through 7 songs. We rehearsed one rehearsal and then did a recording the following week. So, and we had to do it that way. So it give us, I'm actually at the studio with Joe doing some quality checks for the mixing. So we need just that much time to help with mixing and finalizing and mastering the song. All that happened all in one day, and we recorded 7 songs. So it was crazy. It was mind blowing.
So, okay, so I'm listening to you. So now, okay, I'm seeing what you're saying. So as we are watching the movie, we will be clipping back to a choir actually singing, but it's going to be in the church.
Right.
Okay, where they're actually. Okay, I got that.
Yeah.
Okay, now before I go any further, let put out to the audience, if you will, just how you followed COVID protocol and kept everybody safe. So, just so that everybody would know this was done in order, safety in mind.
Absolutely. So of course, this is one of the reasons why we had to kind of minimize the date of visit. So we had 1 rehearsal, 1 recording. Everyone that came and participated, they all, of course, we took temperatures. We had the whole protocol. We social distance inside the church. Everyone was separated. We had individual mics, so we had to bring in another sound system that would be able to, equip all of this. We had a heavy band, but they were all spaced out. And if you see some of the clips, you might see that there's a separated choir. So there's mic singers on the stage, and then there's a spread out choir out in the audience. So that's pretty much how we were able to kind of just fall in line with that. And it worked.
Yeah, it did. And I see you had Andre Jones was back.
Andre Jones, brother. Yes, sir. Andre, he was the MD, the master mind through a lot of the musicianship that you'll see in this production. I was so excited to work with Andre. Rodney Williams was the MD for the Christmas production. And Andre and I, we partnered together, and we literally just, when we sat down about these songs, I was just like, I want this and I want this. He was just like, okay, all right, let's do it. So he was definitely a big part in helping with some of the vocal arrangements as well. Andre has grown to be a great musical director and musician, and as well as, dealing with choirs and praise and worship teams all over. And I mean, I'm learning from him while I'm in this experience, and I'm like, man, look at Andre go, because he's correcting me. And I'm like, okay, I'll shut up, But it was a pleasure to work with Andre, as well as all the other great musicians. Dante Wright on the drums, Jordan Chase on the lead guitar, Gabriel Bennett on the bass, Sean Hunt, who produced Therapy, he's on the organ, and Tim Adonis on the saxophone, and Pastor Larry Mack from I-5 was on the trumpet.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I like I said, I was there and listened in on that session. It was absolutely superb. And then for anyone who's listening, Andre Jones is the son of Reverend Terrence Jones at First Christian. And Andre grew up at FC3. He started playing the organ at FC3. As a matter of fact, he started playing the little organ that kids have. You have it sitting on the table. That's how Andre started out. I'll never forget one day. This is back in the day, of course, when we used to have what we call the Resource Center. And I heard this music coming from the Resource Center. And I'm like, who is that? And opened the door, and that was little Andre. And so it's amazing how, all of that sprung forth. So with the music, Kevin, what I really, really admired and saw your integrity with the music, it was that you were very adamant that the singers not perform, but for it to be a worship experience. And so for them, that as they are singing, not to sing as a performance, but to sing out of worship. And that was very key, I believe, or to the what I believe is going to be the success of the movie, is because of the it was authentic and not a performance.
Right.
And so I thought that was very important for you, because even during that session, I saw a couple of times you kept emphasizing. You wanna
Yeah.
talk about that?
Absolutely. You definitely can hear a difference in someone who's worshiping and then performing. And one of the things, not only was it, being videoed, but these were the things that I wanted to capture as far as the experience, because, we look at worship is a sacrifice. And if we're going to build an altar, put the wood down and light the fire, but that means nothing without a sacrifice. And we definitely had to go there. And I'm gonna tell you, the tracks, we're gonna give it to the media team so they can upload it on Easter, so they will be able to hear the full tracks. Of course, that will be in the movie, just the same way we did with Christmas. But it was a praise break after every song. Because we went there after every song. It was a praise break. And it was just like, man, I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it through this recorded, man, because these songs just took us in. And it was just pure worship. I mean, it was just crazy, and definitely we think about the songs and we think about the words and what they mean to us as an individual as we worship. But it's another thing, and it's a raised worship when you're doing it with other people.
Yeah.
And it's multiplied, and it becomes contagious, and the atmosphere is just so crazy. So it was definitely overwhelming. It was an honor to work with worshipers who are ready to worship and give their gifts up as sacrifices. So yeah.
And that's what makes true music ministry.
Yeah.
When the persons who are gifted with music, who can sing and who can play instruments, who understand that what they are doing is ministry and that they're serving God through this, and it's not some coveted position where
Right.
I do it when I want to or how I feel like it, or I don't feel like coming to rehearsal today. It's a commitment, but the commitment is more to God, not to the director, not to the
Right.
pastor. I'm doing this out of my love for God, and it does
Right.
in the person's ministry when they're singing.
Yeah.
So I think we have a clip of one of the, I don't know if it's a rehearsal or the actual recording.
It's the recording,
And
but it's in its raw form, probably.
raw form. So we can pull that up and let our audience get a little taste of what's coming up. What song is this that's going to be played?
I think it's Stranger.
Stranger. Okay. All right.
Mm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually one of my favorites.
It is one of mine too.
Yeah.
In fact, I was listening to it today. It was on Donna Lawrence. I was
Mhm.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
All favorites.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
your cast of
Woo, 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 woo. Day 3.
audience, again, we have here Mary and Martha and Lazarus, and who had definitely a very pivotal role in this production here. And so I just want to talk to both of you. I want to talk to you, start off with you, Jamise, because your character was interesting. And then I want to ask Kevin about it as we're going into it. That I noticed your character of Emmy, you are a blend of Mary Magdalene and Mary, the sister of Lazarus. And so before that, Kevin, why did you decide to do that? And then Jamise, I would want to know, how did you prepare for the role? And that's the question I really want to ask all of you. So how did you decide? Why did you decide to blend the two?
Well, it was easy. I wanted to my initial point was to modernize the story in a way that we could understand it and then the message still be clear. So, we know the many different Marys and we can kind of get, a little confused about which Mary is this and all of that. But because the tie-in, I wanted to definitely highlight the fact that Mary's siblings, and I wanted to draw in a sense of family, and then also having one of those family members being devoted to Jesus and healed from their past.
Okay.
So it was definitely, it was a little easy, but it was just a creative way to just do it and spin it all together.
Creative liberties there, and
Yeah.
the story. And so Jamise, talk to me about your role as Emmy. How did you prepare for it? What did you think about it when you read the script? How did you prepare yourself for it? What were your thoughts?
Well, when you read about her, in the Bible, you kind of really don't get the same sense of who she is, kind of like modernized, right? So when I played her, Kevin called me and said, look, this is, who I want you to be. And, I really want you to think of, your fiance while you are, trying to get into this role. Your loved one, and what you would be feeling like if this were to happen, to them. And so really putting myself in that position really made me think, wow, like I cannot imagine like watching, having to watch that, and be that person in that time, and watch such a brutal, death. And I think, being her, thinking about her and what she was probably going through really made me draw a connection to her. But that's truly how I prepared. I put myself in her shoes, and how would I feel like if I were watching this? What would this look like? How would I feel? And what would I be like? And I can't even imagine, what she had to go through.
I saw a clip with you in it. I saw a couple of clips, and in fact, I would say this for all of the actors that I did get a chance to see a few of the clips, and the acting was just phenomenal. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the pastor, and I'm just saying it because you guys on the screen. Because you know me, I would just kind of skip on over. In fact, we were having this conversation, to be honest, but. But you just go like, okay, well, that was good, but
right.
But the clearly you imagining this to be one of your loved ones really worked for you, because you really could see the tension and the anxiety that was brought on from the circumstances that was happening around you. And the character that you're playing as part of Mary Magdalene, as far as scripture is concerned, personally, I don't think Mary gets all of her props. If being an apostle, or one of the conditions, what you had to see the risen Savior, well, she was the first one. And so I think she should have been one of the apostles, but who am I? But and it's sad because she helped to bankroll Jesus' ministry. But so was Mary Martha. I mean, Mary's the sister of Martha, the two that you were merging. And I saw what Kevin was doing there. It was like, Mary and Martha were two bad sisters too, because they were homeowners, because it was Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, which meant they owned that house.
Right.
So, I mean, it was really, showing the strength of women in there. Now you have a solo part in and what is the song you're singing?
Now I can't even think of the name of the song. What's the name of the song, Kevin?
He's doing two. Calvary and Oh My Soul Loves Jesus.
Yes. Oh My Soul Loves Jesus is the main one, and then Calvary as well. Yes.
Okay.
So
all right. Awesome. Deanna, you're Martha.
Yes.
Tell me about that. How was that for you?
When I read over the script, anytime when I'm asked to do something, I want to make sure that I have the time to commit to it. Especially whenever it comes to things for God, he deserves our best. And so when Kevin was telling me about the script and the role of Martha, it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I know about Martha and everything. But when I started to read the script, I really started to connect with the feelings and the emotions, especially with anxiety. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, because the anxiety, it's not the typical like anxious, but it shows up in different ways depending on the context of the situation. It can look like anger, it can look like frustration. And so just really reading the role and being a part of the scene, it was a gradual progression, considering, at the start of the scene, it's literally right after the crucifixion, and just being worried and concerned about what's going to happen next, and just being fearful for your life, and then being the oldest and taking care of your siblings and not really appreciating how they're doing things. But it really goes to show how Emmy and also Lazarus, they had their own personal connection with Jesus, their own personal encounter with him. Whereas Martha, she didn't have that. She was known as like being the caretaker, taking care of the household, being hospitable, cooking, and got a lot of praise. And then comes Jesus criticizing that. And so it's just like, excuse me. So for me, I very much connect with that role, because I'm content with being in the background, just serving. And so for that to be questioned, gave like the side eye just a little bit, but in the midst of everything, Martha is the one who is literally trying to keep everything together while everyone is grieving, and she's neglected in a lot of different ways. And so I hope that as I'm portraying her role, you get to see the range of emotions there and how it really sends her into a tailspin. So yeah.
That even though Martha was there, but Martha was very sincere.
Yes.
Still very sincere and loved Jesus. It was just different, but yeah. So how the two of you have to play off each other. You and Emmy, you got to play off of each other. So how was that for both of you? As Martha and as Mary, and because we're going to bring that clip up, because that little clip was tense. So how was playing off of that for you?
It was like, it was fun. It was fun, but it was kind of like, big sister, little sister vibes for sure. Me just kind of going off and doing what I want to do, and my big sister worried about my whereabouts and what I'm doing and making sure that I'm safe. And I'm just like, well, I don't care. I love this man, so I'm going to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a good time.
I did too. I do have sisters, two older and one younger. And so it was interesting for me because, I am an older sister, but I'm not, if that makes sense, because the age difference. And so it was just interesting, like really assuming the fullness of the authority. But again, understanding, like I've really connected with Martha's role. And so with Emmy and everything, it just really helped to fuel the frustration with everything. And so I really did enjoy it. I really did.
That was good. And so that, of course, left Lazarus, Laz, played by none other than our own brother, Eric Holland. And Eric, in other Easter productions, you actually play Jesus. And so this time around, you're Laz. Talk to me about this switch. Once you're playing Jesus, now you're playing Lazarus. How did that work out for you?
It's funny you say that because I played Jesus so much. When I started reading the script, I was like kind of acting like Jesus when I was home. And my wife, she caught me a couple of times. She was like, "Nah, you can't say that like that." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." I see what you said.
Coach you.
So used to like looking at the crowd and projecting to the crowd. But I really related to playing Laz because I actually grew up being like the big brother with two sisters. Oh. And then when like watching them two go at it, I got two little girls now. I watch them go at it, and I'm always just like the peacemaker. So it kind of like I related like right off the bat, like what my lines were and where I had to be and how I had to play the role, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. So your part as Laz, and like I saw a couple of clips with you in it. And I don't want to give that part away though, because I'm just I just can't wait to see the movie because I just want to see how all of that plays out, But what I would like to share with the audience now is this clip, and Deanna kind of set it up a few minutes ago. It's after the crucifixion of Jesus, and evidently Mary had gone off and was doing her thing, left Martha back at home all stressed out. And so let's share this clip now so the audience can see these three in action.
Yes, sir.
Martha, what? I was just coming in here to see if you needed any help.
Help? Help?
Shh, Martha, they're gonna hear.
Don't shush me, Emmy, really?
Martha, I just came in here to see if you needed any help.
Now you wait a minute. I've been needing your help around here for months, but you decided to follow America's Most Wanted around town while I was told that my needs aren't important. Serving him was more important than me worrying. Now look at us, scared, jumpy, worried. Excuse me, I have some tea to serve.
Well, I see she just being her normal self.
Yeah, normal.
Are you okay?
Laz, no. It's the third day.
Emmy,
do you think?
Emmy,
oh, gosh.
Please. There's no room for doubt.
Who's at the door?
You're gonna have to watch.
First of all,
oh man,
cinematography in this thing was just superb. I mean, I just love how they're showing her first where she's getting the tea. Deanna, you remind me so much your cadence and how your execution, if you would, I would say, it reminds me of I don't know her name. She's on 9/11. She's on the TV show 9/11. I mean 911. It's called 9/11. It's 911. Oh man, I don't know, Erica, if you can put into the chat that lady's name, but her cadence, your cadence is just like hers. And it just, when I kept looking, I said, she sounds like someone, and it's this chick on TV. So Aisha, it says Aisha Hines. Oh, Aisha Hines.
Hen.
Hen, yeah.
Hen.
Your voice is like her, and how you know that she is, when she goes off, she is going to pronounce every syllable. And you reminded me of her so much when you did that. I love that. But anyway, so, okay, so that was so much going on right there. That was so much. So you're not going to, okay, but that's okay. Because I'm the one who usually look at I go to the last chapter in the book to find out what's going to happen before I read the book.
Right.
But anyway, that scene was good. How did the three of you feel doing that scene? And what, is this the first time you saw it?
Yeah, it's my first time.
Now that you've seen it, what are your feelings?
Man, it's just weird looking at myself.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Like like you said, it's definitely weird looking at yourself or even hearing yourself talk. But then also, just like you said earlier, the cinematography is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That was on point. That was on point.
Yeah, that was good. That was really, really good. When I got that clip this morning, of course, I text Kevin back. I was like, "Who is at the door, Kevin?" Yeah, that was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed that. Kevin, who are some of the other actors in this production?
Amazing actors and actresses. Angela Belt, Pastor Kiafa Downs, Coco Chanel Grove. We also have Coach Kenny Starks, as well as John Selman. And I'm trying to think if anybody else. Oh, Jesus. Dominic Goods played Jesus. So yeah, amazing, just an amazing cast.
Okay.
Oh, we have Greg Harris a part of this as well.
Yeah.
Greg Harris. I feel like I'm forgetting it. I feel like I'm forgetting people.
Probably didn't. I shouldn't have put you on the spot with that. Melanie Harris, I think I saw her in there.
Melanie Harris. Yes. I feel like Melanie Harris. Yeah, she plays the mother of Jesus, man. And yeah, she does. I'm telling you, she does a phenomenal job. She's definitely a vet. She's been in many productions. But listening and watching her play Mary the morning of day 3, I think it just kind of stilled the entire set. Everyone was just still. And we were just like, is this acting or are you done? Keep going. It was just amazing to watch her minister through this production. So yeah, you guys will definitely enjoy it.
Let's talk about that because our time is running out, and getting back to talking about ministry and using drama as a form of ministry. You just listening to the four of you, just talking about your experience, what it was like as far as the recording of the music was, why it was important that you have a worship attitude and experience. To me, goes to say even more that yes, creating a movie and it's effective, that God's anointing can fall upon our production. such as a movie or play in order to get his word out and to draw people in and to meet the needs of people and to address their issues, if you will. But if we're going to do it as Christians and we're going to do it, we need to do it right.
Yeah.
Make sure that we're doing it for Christ and not for ourselves, and coming in with excellence, with that I'm doing it as unto the Lord. And I gathered from just watching you and just even in the music ministry period that you really push that piece, that excellence is a piece that you really push. And you are demanding, but demanding in a good way, where it's, you got to bring your best to the table because it's who you're doing it for. So as we're going forward, this pandemic really pushed us out of the box. Not to say we probably would do stage plays again, but we're not limited to stage plays. So now we can do stage plays if we feel like doing a stage play, if that's where God is moving us for that moment in that time, or we could do a movie, or we can do both. So how do you feel about now, as the pandemic, of course, was the thing that really pushed us over, because we said, like, we want to do something for Easter. We can't bring the people into the sanctuary like we used to. So how do you see, as far as FC3 drama ministry and productions going forward?
Well, yes, productions. I definitely see doing more work out in the community, having a presence, filming, and it was definitely an honor to partner with business owners such as IHOP and Medieval Times, and Anne Arundel County Parks and Recs in the city of Annapolis. To have these locations, we had to call these people to ask and to let them know what was going on. And their arms were wide open saying, come on, let's do it. So I think that aspect alone is being able to connect with all those other places that makes things like this easier. So as far as production wise, it just opens the door for many things to do and many places to do it at. I definitely watching and putting together and working with these individuals for day 3. I see elevation here. I don't see things going back to being simple. I think that looking at, and when we're watching this production, there's opportunity to grow and learn in this and then go higher and higher. So to be honest with you, I have no idea what that looks like yet. I can only go by, per se, the concepts that came in my head and initially talking those out with Ricky, and just preparing it and executing it and working with these individuals. But there's so many things that happens when we prepare that end up not being in the final product. And sometimes we'll have an intention for someone or something, and God will do a shift. And then, and it's not always a bad shift. It's not always a negative shift. It's just more of, I decided to do this, so now I need you to go in this direction, and just being open to it. And I think that definitely productions to come, it's just being open to all of that.
Right. And I definitely agree with you. I think that is the whole key. It's just to be open into how God is moving. And each time, and I say it's God, he sets the bar, and he sets the bar high.
Mind blowing.
And he expects us, yeah, he does. And it's like, okay, we did this, so now we going to do this. Mm-hmm. And so I just think you're right. I don't know. I know it's going to go far. I just don't know where. Mm-hmm. But I do know, I think this is an awesome time for the creative juices to flow, and just to my catchphrase is to reimagine, is to don't get caught in a box. but let's just let it go. I mean, just put it out there and just see where it lands. And I definitely think this production it started with the Christmas, and I think this production is even more. So I know there are more coming because I know I have some things in mind. But anyway,
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
but
I-
anyway,
And I even say this too. First Christian has always been known for, what are they doing for Easter this year? You know what I mean? We've always been known for something big. So yes, the pandemic definitely it pushed us, and it allowed for us to, come away from the traditional, and still, even with the sunrise service that we're having this Sunday, it's not as traditional. It still has elements of things that were produced out of this pandemic, and how we think when we putting together services, and still being yielded to the Holy Spirit. So absolutely, I have no idea where this is going to go.
yeah, it's a lot there, and you're right. It's so much that we haven't seen, and I just think that's all part of God's plan, is just for us to be in lockstep with Him, and how and where He takes us, and just to keep in mind, just to keep the humility, and keep in mind that it's all about Him. And yeah, so I think the sky is going to be the limit. So anyway,
Yeah.
but again, I just want to thank all of you for coming on, and for our listening and watching audience. I hope you are as excited about this movie premiere like I am. I just can't wait to see it. And I know for the cast, we're going to be showing it at the church on Sunday at 10 o'clock, but I'm putting it out right now. When it's time for the movie, I'm going into my office. I have to watch it in there. I gotta be in my space. Okay. So I just want everybody to know I gotta be in my I cannot be out with everybody else right now. Love everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Church is your home. But I gotta be in my space. I gotta watch this and enjoy it my way. So if just to give everyone another taste of this movie, we have a clip, and I'm going to ask if we just can run that clip before we sign off, so everybody can just see this.
I think it's the trailer.
It's a trailer. Okay, so here
I think
is
it's the trailer, right?
Trailer to day 3. To day 3.
And for what? Why did they have to take her from me like that?
I'm your sister. I'm your family.
I'm just laughing at PK.
Leave me alone. My room to myself.
Right.
Okay. I can't wait. So, and I know everybody else out there. Listen, folks, I'm just going to tell you 10 o'clock a.m. It will premiere here on our YouTube channel, First Christian Community Church YouTube channel. It will be on Facebook Live. And it will be shown later on in the day. Do we have a time with another time that's going to be shown on Easter? Or that's sometime in the evening at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Will be shown again at 6 p.m. and then it'll just be up on YouTube and you can watch it anytime. But you have got to watch day 3. Day 3. You know, it's phenomenal. I'm going to pass out my own Oscars, and
That's right.
you know, I'm doing my own thing. So I'm just looking forward to it. So again, Kevin, thank you for allowing God to use you. And I say that to Deanna, Janice, and Eric, because you allow God to use you in this production to bring this awesome message of Jesus Christ and what he did for us. And on this Good Friday, as we remember how Christ suffered and died. And, you know, even just to say that, still cannot, in my opinion, really get our finite minds wrapped around just how deep that is and what Jesus did.
Yeah.
But it's out of the attitude of our heart and thanksgiving that the only thing that we can give back to him is ourselves, out of thankfulness for how he stood in our place, what should have been.
Right.
And so, so on this moment, we bow in humility and in gratefulness and thankfulness for the work that he did on the cross. But we thank God for Good Friday, but we thank him even more for Resurrection Sunday. This may be day 1, tomorrow is day 2, but Sunday is going to be day
3.
All right, good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We really appreciate you listening in. I hope you like and share it out on your page. You can still do it and people can watch it later on as we talk to some of the cast from me and with the writer and producer, none other than our own Kevin Smith. And everybody on here was from First Christian Community Church of Annapolis. And I'm their pastor and I'm proud to say so. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.